Welcome back to Sea Power. Lots of people have mentioned over the last few months, where are the Arleigh Burke class destroyers? They're not in the base game, are they? Nope, they're not. But, thanks to a mod, you can now add them. I thought it was very difficult, if not flat out impossible, to import models into the game. I thought you were only stuck using the base models and you can sort of kit bash things together but not add new ones, but it's been done. And that does mean that this is a bit more of an involved mod to install rather than just click subscribe on the workshop. So towards the second part of the video I have an installation guide on how to get this thing running, because you definitely need to jump through a bunch more hoops in order to get these ships to play nice. You have a couple of different flights of these Arleigh Burkes. We have the base Arleigh Burke, which is symbolized here by the John Paul Jones. And the John Paul Jones is equipped with the Standard Missile medium range, the SM2 Block 3 with a range of 90 miles, which is a very nice missile. Can also be used against surface targets, and that is very important because it gives you a very short range weapon in case your Tomahawks, yes, your Tomahawks don't actually get to the minimum range, 25 miles. They also have land attack Tomahawks. They have a couple of harpoons, which kind of sit between the land, sort of anti-surface capabilities of the Standard Missile, the Tomahawks. You have torpedoes, you have ASROCs, you have lots of munitions for the Sea-Wiz, and of course we have our 5-inch gun, and hey, offensive ECM, because why not? Gridley is the more advanced ship, and it is a Flight 2A class of the Arleigh Burke. That means it comes equipped with a Standard Missile 2 Extended Range Block 4, 250 miles. Great missile if you can use it. Because you do need something that is that far away from whatever it is that you're defending to actually spot something that you're trying to shoot at. So it's not like, oh, I can immediately shoot aircraft out of the sky at 250 miles. No, of course you need to detect them first. For which they have their own SPY-1DV, Air Search Directed Radar. 405 miles on paper. And I'm saying that explicitly because sometimes you got aircraft flying lower, you have aircraft flying, let's say, with a smaller radar profile because they're not that big of an aircraft. That means you'll rarely ever see that 405 miles. Maybe like a B-52 flying at maximum altitude, you can spot that from that far away. Everything else not as likely. For surface search, they both got the SPS-67. 67-mile range, decent surface search. But hey, ideally you don't want to have surface contact get detected by the surface search of these ships themselves. You also, at least on the Flight 2A, get the capability of launching the S-70B. I can load these with the default loadout, which is Hellfires, 2 torpedoes, and a bunch of sonobuoys. You can also give them the ASW loadout, which just takes away the Hellfires, and anti-ship, as you can imagine, takes away the torpedoes, but adds the Hellfires again. I think the default loadout's a bit overpowered, but okay. Let's go ASW. And the game does freeze for a second when you're trying to launch these, because I don't think it quite knows exactly what to do. You can see the model isn't 100% perfect. It's kind of floating above the helo deck, or sorry, above the flight deck, but hey, it works. And that's what counts. The John Paul Jones does unfortunately not get this treatment yet. Maybe they're still working on that. Oh, actually, it's probably because they don't have a flight deck. I guess that explains a lot. Anyway, what are we going to do here? Well, this is the escort mission, the Gauntlet. It's one of the first missions I did. So I still have some recollection of what starts to happen. But I adjusted the mission a bit, added a few units to make the thing a bit more interesting. I did give up my Oliver Hazard Parries in favor of these Arleigh Burkes. So in this case, we're escorting this ship here, the President van Buren, as well as the Charlottenborg, to this objective circle there. And along the way, we're going to use every weapon asset that we have available in order to diminish the threats that are posed against us. I'm going to try and minimize my own radar use, maybe incidentally activate the surface search, or rather the air search, because the surface search can be done by this SH, no, not the SH, by the S70. This is part of a different mod. It is not part of the Arleigh Burke mod, so you also need to subscribe to this one, but that is, I think, part of the subscription requirements for Arleigh Burke. So if you download the Arleigh Burke mod or if you subscribe to it, it should automatically install this one as well. Let's go through the whole takeoff procedure. There we go. And I think this model too was not part of the base game. I'm still hoping that they're going to add in something like that to make the game a bit more modern, because I do really like the look of this helicopter. Gorgeous shot there. Now, of course, this thing isn't just here doing its own beauty maneuvers. We're going to use it as a forward radar picket, so I don't have to activate my own surface search. We're going to go forward. The other one's going to start laying sonobuoys, and we're going to keep this convoy safe on the way, all the way over to the northeast. So here's one of the risks of running MCON. You can suddenly have a couple of MiGs show up, which thankfully got detected by the pilot, or one of the weapon operators, from the Sikorsky looking out their window. That's what it's come to. So these gentlemen, not up to any good. They are probably not quite aware of my position, because I'm not picking them up on ECM. Sorry, on ESM. They're not using their own radar, which means that they probably don't exactly know where I'm at, and they cannot actively use their own weapons. So let's start engaging these things.
Engage track 70. Birds away. Track 70.
And seeing as they don't have their radar on, they might not even know that they're getting engaged. Now we have them on their emissions. Okay, let's activate ECM and throw that into their face.
Track 7002.
I think we had to activate the air search radar in order to guide a couple of missiles. Block 3s are semi-active radar homing. Yeah.
Birds away. Track 7002.
John Paul Jones is also engaging into this fight. Come on, we got one, and we got two. That's 2 MiGs down. Nice work. Let's see if there's anything else out here. Yes, there are. A couple of units over to the port side. Activate your surface-to-air. Air search radar. There's the other guy. Hostile. We're going to swing their ECM over to the port side. We're going to swing your ECM over to the port side. MiG-23. Still packing all of its ordnance. Seemingly has not detected me yet. Oops. You're gone. Shoot first, ask questions later. Gotta love it. Again, just for good measure. Because they will chaff, and this, unfortunately, does not save their life. Okay, so that's them gone. Can you spot anything yet from over here? Not as of yet. Alright, in that case we're just gonna stay vigilant, keep scouting out, and turn our air search and surface search back off. We're gonna go MCON. I do want to stream the towed array and activate that, and make sure that we have the towed decoys deployed as well. Let's push these ships slide. Well, I can push them forward, but that would risk getting away from my convoy. So the moment that something starts to rain down on me, I'm going to be in trouble. But how about keeping the John Paul Jones back? How about having that reinforce this formation? Yeah, just about like that. And that kind of frees up the Gridley to rush forward. And rush forward, these things can, because their top speed is 36 knots. That will get impacted by the type of sea state that you're looking at. But right now, with a very calm sea, we can do exactly that. And one thing I really love about the Arleigh Burkes is how they look when they turn.
Turn to course. 1, 2, buoy away.
They just heel all the way over. I think the model is not quite right yet. Because if you do throw it into a turn like this, you can see that the flight deck is kind of a wash. Probably not an intended design, but it does look spectacular. And there are all sorts of clips online, of course, with these ships getting thrown into a turn. And, well, they got some speed, they got some moves. And they look great doing it. We've now detected a couple of incoming SSN2s. So let's immediately start to engage those.
Track 7008.
These are not standard in the scenario, but they are things that you want to get addressed very, very quickly, because these missiles are coming in at 1,500 miles. Sorry, 1,500 knots. Even more. There's one. That one missed. Missed.
7013.
Here we go. More missiles.
Birds away, track
The fact that you don't have to load these things onto a rail like the Oliver Hazard Perrys do, or some of the missile cruisers even, just makes these things so much more convenient to use. Okay, I think we intercepted a few. I'm going to activate the offensive ECM in that direction just to make sure I get a bit more survival options. Okay, that seems to have been all of them. Can you see what shot that? What launched that?
radar eye.
Not as of right now.
MCON secure
Okay.
all emitters. Radar eye.
We'll have to be a little patient and see what exactly was it that threw that in my face. I think we might have found our culprit over there. Doing 20 knots. Large contact. Classify that as hostile and tell one of the Arleigh Burkes to go after it. In this case, let's have the John Paul Jones do it. Of course, their ECM is never going to cover that, but we do have the capability of launching 14 Tomahawks. How about going for 8? I don't think the harpoons are quite in range yet, because that's 65 miles, I think. Yeah, 65 still. So let's send a salvo of 8 Tomahawks after it.
Bulldog away. Track
2 at a time.
7020.
That ought to give that surface target something to think about while they contemplate their move. Either shoot down the missiles or to shoot me again. But I'm not so sure if they can detect me. Because they're not running their radar, and even if they are, they probably can't see that far. Now, this swarm of 8 Tomahawks is definitely not impervious. It can get intercepted. But they're pretty dense. So they'll have to throw a lot of missiles into the air quickly in order to get rid of these missiles. Tomahawks aren't exactly my favorite because they're relatively dumb compared to the Soviet missiles. They will all try and go for the same target. But they are devastating. Once they do hit, they tend to be enough for one kill. At this point, the target is most likely aware that there's a threat, because we are seeing their radar go active, or at least the SA-70 over there is getting some radar warning. And they are definitely getting some missiles shot down. There's also some spoofing going on. So this is potentially a rather capable surface combatant. We got 4 missiles left, 3 missiles left. I think the Tomahawks might not be sufficient. We might need to send some more. Probably too economical with my missiles. But then again, 8 Tomahawks is no joke. 2 left. Chaff. Near miss. Suez. Suez again. They got all of them. How about that? That's impressive. Unfortunately for them, I still have some more. I got 8 more Tomahawks. And that's just aboard Gridley. The other one still has another 6. So seeing as they were able to intercept all of those, we have to spend everything. Pause, so I can engage with both ships at the same time. Actually, I need you to launch slightly later, Gridley. Because you're racing ahead. Okay, you done launching? Oh, we still got 2 more. Go on.
Engaging track 7020.
Looks like it's not quite ready. Oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna send all of them. Gotta make sure they're kind of on pace with Gridley. There. Gridley can start to launch.
Engage Bulldog away. Track 7020.
That ought to send another message. Hopefully they will not be able to intercept all of them.
Buoy
So
away.
that we can just scratch that unit off the board. I'm not sure why we're not able to launch with the additional Tomahawks here. Now we're sending 12. I was hoping to send 2 more.
Engaging track 70.
Rumpel Jones is not responding.
Salvo fire.
Gotta kind of respect this ship, because it's been very capable so far, so I don't want to rudely get too close to it.
Roger. Turn 308.
Second attempt. The missiles are already getting spoofed by the defensive jamming from this ship over here. But we do have more of them, so let's see if that'll work. 15 miles out. We've acquired the target. There it is. Missiles are coming up. They've managed to get one. SAN-7. For those interested, this is a Sovereign-class warship. Very capable against air threats. Also, the SSN-22s came off of this guy. It's the big launchers up there. And so far, they're doing a fantastic job just trying to spoof these things with defensive jamming. And, of course, trying to shoot as many of them down. If they cannot shoot them all down, we're probably going to see Seawiz get in the way. So, I'm not so sure we can actually eliminate this thing with this many Tomahawks. As a side note, I'm feeling the game runs a lot smoother than it did before. I'm on stable 124. Maybe this does mean that the larger scale scenarios are going to be a bit more suitable to run. Oh, we got 3 more missiles getting close. He's going to eat chaff. He's going to eat chaff. And he's not. He might eat Seawiz. Well, Seawiz is a little busy. Trying to get after the missile that was already spoofed. Hit! That's going to leave a mark. Yep, that wrecked him. Instantly. Instant demise of this Udaloy. Now, that's going to be pretty much it for the showcase, because the rest of the weapon systems are... What the hell? That's some sort of artifact. The rest of the missile systems are pretty much the same as what you can expect. I mean, it's just the standard Tomahawks, it's your torpedoes. I'm not going to complete the whole mission, because you've already seen the mission before. Instead, let's go over how you can actually get this thing installed, because that is where it gets a little bit more complex. Okay, installation time. It's a bit more involved than just clicking subscribe, because the mod also requires all these items, and one of those requires a few manual steps. So make sure you subscribe to the mod. You can find the link down below in the description for quick access. Subscribe to all of these, and then click Anchor Chain. That's going to take you to another part of the mods that you need. And as it says here, it will not function on its own. You need to go and see the documentation here. That documentation will take you to this page. Installing BepInX. I'm not sure exactly what it stands for, but that's the name of the installer. In order to get this, you're going to have to go over to the BepInX GitHub page. That is this page over here. It's going to look... Actually, let me take all the steps. Here we go. It's going to show you this GitHub. Over to the right-hand side, we have releases. Click that. Then we're going to scroll down and click on BepInX WinX64. At least that's my OS. If you're using Linux, you can use the other type. It's going to show you, or sort of, it's going to download this zip file. Download that. I have downloaded that file, and just for easy access, I've put that into a separate install location. You're going to extract that, and it might not say /1 because I've already downloaded it once. Once you've done that, we can go back to the GitHub information, or rather to the install. And it says download it, check. Unzip it, check. Repeatedly enter the unzipped folder until you see the winhttp.dll. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. That is in core, and that is... wait a second. Here. winhttp.dll. You're going to copy that, and then you're going to go and take that into your CPower installation folder. So we're going to go back to Steam. And over on Steam, the easiest way to get in here is go to right-click on CPower, Manage, and Browse Local Files. This is going to take you to the main CPower folder, where also the cpower.exe executable is. I've already pasted it because I already got the mod running, but this is where you need to dump that winhttp.dll file. So just paste that there. That means we've now completed step 6. Press Ctrl V to paste BepInEx into your C installation folder. So we're gonna, we're here. Repeatedly unzip this, blah, 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 get that file, highlight that, go to the cpower exec, fine. Now do the whole folder into the cpower installation. So whereas over here, we just took one file, we're gonna take the whole thing here, the BepInEx, Ctrl C for copy, and go back into cpower and Ctrl V for paste. And that's, in my case, already done. It's pasted here. So that is going to contain all the files that apparently that system needs. I don't exactly know how it works, I just know that it does work. Double click on cpower to have it set itself up. It's going to close and open a few times, this is normal, and once it is initialized correctly, you're going to go into that folder and see if there's a log output.log. So in my case, yes it is. There's a log output.log. So the BepInEx part has been done. Then, anchor chain. We're going to go to the anchor chain GitHub page. So we're going to download anchor chain by clicking there. And then we're going to download anchorchain.preloader.dll. Now, your system might balk at this, going, hold on, DLLs are not always up to good things. So I'm going to block that. In my case, I'm using Brave browser. Some other browsers might give you a different response. I'm going to say download the unverified file. Once you've done that, you can find that in your downloads folder. For easy overview, I have downloaded it to download/Arleigh Burke install, and there it is, anchorchain.preloader.dll. But we don't need to install it there, we need to put that somewhere else. Go into your downloads folder and grab it, and once again we're going to go back to the cpower main installation folder. Now take note that you don't have to dump this thing into the main folder, it says you should see the BepInEx folder that you've created there. Okay, so we're going to go back into that folder over there. And then you have a folder called plugins. It says if it doesn't have one, you might need to create a folder called plugins. If you don't know how to do that, in this case, if I do it, I'm going to have two, but whatever. Right click, new, folder. And this is going to be plugins too. But in this case, you would normally name it plugins. In there, you're going to open that, and that's where you're going to dump anchor chain. So that's Ctrl V or paste it. Once you've done that, you have done all the manual steps. So as the final step in cpower itself, go to the mod manager and go all the way towards, at least in my case, all the way, because I have a lot of mods installed. We have here Arleigh Burke, anchor chain, C lifter, and you have to install NTU and activate NTU, so new thread upgrade here. Make sure you have all 4 of those and you should be good to go, except for launching helicopters. Because for that you also need the S70. Good lord, I have way too many mods installed. It's down here somewhere. Yes, here, S70B2 Seahawk. So with this, you have the Seahawk helicopter ready to go for your Arleigh Burkes. And that's it. Now you can start playing missions that have the Arleigh Burkes required, or you can create your own missions using the mission editor. In this case, with the mission editor, you should be able to see the Arleigh Burkes. So you're going to go to United States. You're going to go and select, for example, Arleigh Burke F2, add units, and then just play. Don't need to add any additional units, don't need to do anything, hostile units, triggers, whatever. Just see if it works. That's the easiest way to go about it. Just see if this model will load. And there it is. So now we have the Arleigh Burke. They're ready to go, and they're eager for your missions. The mission install is a bit, or rather the mod install is a bit involved, but hey, it works, and the ship works, and it's glorious. Thank you for watching. Thanks to the mod creators for building the mod. If you have any questions about how to install it, I'm not the guy to ask. So any mod requirements or any comments regarding how do I install this thing, follow the steps. If that does not work, leave a comment on the Steam Workshop page. They'll be able to help you out. I do not do tech support on any kind of mods. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed. Good luck with the Arleigh Burkes. Have fun with them. And thank you for watching. See you next time.